And g'day, guys. Good morning, g'day, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Craig Whitney, your host of the Legacy Forge podcast. And today's episode, this will be a solo one today. Carrying on, we're going to continue the march on down here of my Arete Pyramid. We're going to focus on today pretty much around the leadership or the dominion phase of it all. Yeah. So my first question is, as I adjust my camera, so pretty much first up, like and subscribe on Apple Tunes or Spotify for the audio, and jump onto my YouTube channel, and you can find me on the Legacy Forge podcast on YouTube for the video uplink. Although knowing me, generally listen to a lot of my podcasts via audio because we're always active doing something such as driving or out on our evening walks or runs or in the gym or wherever. And that's okay. Like and subscribe, guys, if you get some value, and tag a mate. Tag a mate, tag a friend. Let's build this audience for the Legacy Forge, because our legacies mean something to this world other than a mismatched marketing term. Yeah. All right. So let's start here. So for those who are jumping on into the Legacy Forge podcast, I am the second layer deep in the Arete Method pyramid. The reason why I'm explaining this on a podcast is social media is unpredictable in Meta. I've been blacklisted on Meta. I'm getting in Facebook jail all the time. So I thought I'll just do a video recording of the Arete Pyramid as some free value, as some solo episodes, get it out across my networks. That way it's set in stone. You can come back anytime, listen over and over, take some notes, have a notebook, a notepad, a pen in hand, write down some ideas. As my mentor, JT Fox, is continuously coaching me on, when you listen to or read something 3 times, okay? First time you just listen to it with a set of earphones in your ear and you go about your day. The second time is you have a notebook at hand and you're writing stuff down, what sticks out to you, yeah? And the third time you go back through, you re-listen again, no notes, and you implement the steps straight away. So the art of implementation, or the speed of implementation. So that's the 3 phase of learning that I've been learnt from JT Fox himself, the man himself, which has helped me springboard straight into 2026, coming off the back of 2025, or which was already a significant year anyway. And now we're going into 2026, launching next level coaching, Arete Method, partnered with Jim's life coaching. And this year's going to be an astronomical year. Yeah. Alrighty. So today, just a bit of backflow. The Arete Method is a 7-layer deep structure. It's not a how-to method. Right, for those who are on the audio and don't have a diagram in front of them, draw a pyramid, 7 layers deep, yeah? So the last episode of this, we focused on legacy. What's your highest purpose, yeah? Who are you? Your identity at core. Who are you? What value are you willing to die for? Yeah? What hill will you die on? And again, legacy is one of these marketed terms that gets bounced around the marketplace all the time. Think like their Greek Stoics, Aristotle, Pythagoras, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius. Their legacies have been etched in stone, mark of the immortal. The whole essence of Arete is an excellence of being. You are being, not doing, so you can have something greater than yourself that can outlast the sands of time. Now, our Stoic ancestors, the Greek and ancient Romans, were thousands of years ago. However, their legacies and their teachings are still prevalent today. Why? They have been etched in stone. And even our great business leaders like Henry Ford and GE and Disney, those businesses have been around, for close to over 100 years now, almost. We're coming on. That's legacy material there, and they'll continue to keep pushing forwards. And then we come down to our current business climate where businesses and organizations don't last 5 years in this current climate. Why? Why? Big problem. Big picture problem. Comes down to leadership. And even leadership itself is an overused term. And I'll dive straight into this with a metaphor because leadership means many things because it's such a generalized term. So dominion leadership, integrity through influence, or the foundation that others rise upon. And just for clarity, I have notes that I've written down, ideas, bullet points that I've written down. I will bounce backwards and forwards for the video feed, and we'll focus on leadership today. And don't forget to put ego on the left and soul on the right. We want to bounce from this somewheresville of ego and into soul. The last episode I did on this was on legacy. This is on leadership, or dominion as the Greek term, yeah? So what if true leadership isn't about leading from the front, but becoming the ground beneath for others? Think about that. We all talk about being the example, leading from the front, leaders go first. Yeah, that's true. What about being there for others? Yeah. Leadership is tested not by how many follow you, but by how many feel safe around you. Like a stone bridge in the ancient cities of Rome and Greece, a dominion leader doesn't shout at the river or the travelers who cross it. He holds steady, unwavering, day after day, so others can move forward. That's leadership rooted in integrity, not charisma. We see enough charisma already on the big stage with speakers and coaches and influencers, and people get addicted to the charisma and they keep coming back for more. That's one half of the problem. Yeah. Leadership where words match actions, decisions reflect values, and presence remains steady and outcomes waver. Ooh, where does that show up in your life as a leader, manager, CEO, CFO, whatever those three words attached to your name, or even father or mother? Where does that show up in your life? Yeah. Authority, it's never taken or forced. It's given by those who feel seen, protected, and guided. Dominion leaders serve with responsibility, absorbing pressure so others don't have to. They make tough calls quietly. Enter uncertainty first, modeling the example, and exit danger last. They don't dominate conflict, they ground it. They don't hype courage, they embody it. They feel it from here. Dominion is where leadership shifts from performance to posture. People don't feel controlled by this leader, they feel held. Because dominion isn't about leading from the front, it's about being the foundation that lets others rise. Think about that. Think about the leaders in your life. Do they make you feel held, safe, grounded, or do they ask you to follow without that foundation? Think of more your dictator or authoritarian leaders where you follow by force. Yeah? You don't follow for long, do you? You generally quit. I know in my 11 years in the transport industry, I've gone through, I was looking at my resume the other day about close to 6 transport companies because it's the same style of leadership. High turnover, both from operator, from driver, from contractor to staff in the office and managerial, because nobody models from holding others to feel seen, heard, or safe. It's more push, 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 KPI, churn and burn, churn and burn. Think about that for a moment. And some questions that I do coach around in this model. Remember, this is not a how-to. This is going from the how-to, because the how-to you can find on Google or YouTube. And you can watch all your favorite episodes on YouTube and Udemy on how-to coaching. I'm not interested in that. How-to is here. Ego. Ego. Somewhere along this pyramid, if I can adjust my camera, we're here in the ego. The trick is to bounce the ego, to break through the ego, and to get into our soul. What gets into your bones, your heart, your soul, and makes you breathe, not just think from here. Cognitive learning is temporary. Right? Integrity and influence is from the heart and soul, not from the head. Yeah? Some coaching questions that I do coach around. Where have I led only when convenient? In other words, you're a part-time leader, yeah? Or a leader when you want to be. For the camera, yeah? Or the Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, yeah? How have I claimed authority without serving? The armchair tyrant, the dictator, the 1970s CEO who thinks he owns the place and asserts that through authoritarian style leadership. What ego-driven behaviors am I holding on to? Control, power. Power is a big one and control is another one. And I am a recovering control freak. I have learned to surrender on so many forms. Not surrender to be a doormat. Surrender my skills to others. Let go. Trust. Trust. Another question is, how would leadership change with uncompromising integrity? Think of being injected by uncompromising integrity. Unwavering. What does that look like, feel like, sound like? What would others say about you with that? Goes deep. And there's many studies around this. I'm not on here to give a left brain analogy. You can look up, jump on AI these days and do an analysis on micro studies around that. Today's episode is specifically around here. Bear with me, my voice is a bit worn out. I've been on the microphone most of the day, on and off interviews, so I am worn out a little bit. So let's deepen it. Let's deepen these questions. Where do you lead when it's convenient? Where do you claim authority but fail to serve? And what parts of your leadership come from ego instead of genuine service? And what would change if your influence reflected uncompromising integrity? Do write those down. Go back and re-listen again. Write those questions down. Answer them from here, not here. Let go here. Your head's a safety blanket. Yeah? Speak from here. Yeah? The tale of King Theseus and the Ship of Theseus. In ancient Greek philosophy, the Ship of Theseus poses a paradox about identity and change if every plank and sail is replaced. Is it the same ship? Leadership itself, in its essence, can be like that ship. When a leader only leads when convenient or claims authority without service, their ship starts replacing original planks with ego-driven boards, no longer solid, no longer dependable. Yeah? Followers begin to question, is this truly the same leader who stood for us in our corner? Or has the ship become just a facade, held together by ego and convenience, temporal glue? True dominion. Leadership keeps the original foundation intact. Influence with uncompromising integrity means every plank, every action and decision is aligned and serves the collective, no matter how difficult. Only then authority remains authentic and the ship stays seaworthy. through storms and calm alike. Where has that shown up in your life, in your organization, in your family? Just take a few moments now. Where does that show up? Where does that show up in your life? Remember, are you leading from an ego or are you leading from soul? So where is that showing up in your life? So for those who don't know what dominion is leadership. Yeah. It's Latin and origin. It was used by Greeks and Romans. It's centered around authority, stewardship, and responsibility. It was termed as a city-state through virtue and prudence. Authority, or arete, was legitimate only when exercised with wisdom and in service to the common good, not as a domination to mere power. Yeah. The idea of autarkeia, any Greeks out there, please correct me. Autarkeia, which is self-mastery or autonomy, was essential, implying that a leader must govern oneself with integrity before leading others. Where does that show up? Now, this episode, I'm not going to go into a full-scale 60-minute episode. So today's episode was basically a touch on that. So if we come back up here, I am using my notepad here, as I did write some questions, and I do have a structure that I go by on this essence. So the questions revisited are: where do you lead only when it's convenient? Where do you claim authority but fail to serve? And what parts of your leadership come from ego instead of genuine service? And what would change if your influence reflected on uncompromising integrity? Not the ClickFunnels version of integrity thrown up on a landing page. Actual integrity from here. Yeah. True leadership is not about the spotlight or the number of followers. It's about becoming the unwavering ground beneath others, the bridge that holds steady through storms, the presence that embodies integrity when no one's watching. Dominion teaches us that authority is never taken. It is earned through service, trust, and responsibility. Ask yourself, are you leading from ego, convenience, or pressure? Or are you serving with unwavering integrity from the heart, grounding others so they can rise? Because when influence is built on integrity and authority is given through service, leadership transforms from a role, from a badge number, into a legacy. That's right, a legacy. Be the foundation. Be the bridge. Be the leader that others don't just follow, but they rely on. I've got your back no matter what. That is dominion. Alrighty, guys, that's it for me for today. Quick, short, sharp, 20, 25-minute episode. Nothing too deep. Was never meant to be on this solo stuff. Like and subscribe Apple and Spotify, or jump on YouTube and like and subscribe there for the video and some audio as well. Other than that, see you later. Until the next episode. And if you want to connect with me, find me on Facebook, Craig Whitney. I'm on all the socials as well. Let's connect. Let's really connect and have a conversation around this. Let's go deep. Let's dive deep. Remember, the definition of arete is an excellence of being. Let that land. An excellence of being. What does that mean for you? Let that land. Let's connect. Let's have a conversation. Alrighty, guys. Bye for now. Until next time.